Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen, this Veronica Streams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Friday. Yay. Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Let's get into our daily reading. I'm going to stick with the Somnia for a bit. I'm really not feeling any other decks lately. They just don't feel right now. I used to love going from deck to deck, but saying nope, you got to stick with this one. Okay, so what do we got? I am getting a new version of this deck and an oracle version of this deck, so I'm kind of excited about that. It should be coming this month. I need to double check the shipping status of that. Okay, let's get started. Okay, current situation, death, present influence, 8 of Pentacles, future influence, 9 of Pentacles, like that. I like the progression with the death card there. It's kind of nice. Unexpected, King of Swords, challenge, 4 of Swords, strength, King of Cups, where does this lead? 3 of Cups, Page of Wands, and 9 of Swords. Let's go one more. Oh, 3 of Swords. Well, things aren't going to work out here. Sorry. It's weird because it feels more than a disappointment. However, I mean, even though the 3 of Swords is there and the 9 of Swords, keep in mind these are daily readings, so that's pretty fast energy. 6 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Wow. So 6 of Pentacles being at the bottom of the deck, about sharing. But I feel like it's more about reaching, reaching something with that 8 of Pentacles here and the 9 of Pentacles and the death. It's like, okay, what do I need to, I'm going back to, I've had a feeling in a previous reading, and I'm not sure how far back it was. It couldn't have been too long ago, where it was feeling like fitting in or feeling like being part of that group. I'm kind of getting that same energy a little bit. But I like that the death card comes in because that's the change. And I think that the realization that you need to work on a specific thing, which is the 8 of Pentacles, working on that to become a master, and then heading to the 9 of Pentacles where you say, okay, I accomplished what I was intended. And that's what I'm feeling here in the next couple days, is you're feeling like you've accomplished what your intentions were to accomplish. And I think it does lead to some good stuff, but I feel like we'll talk about that. But yeah, death is definitely the transformation, and it goes perfectly with this 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles it's about mastering a skill, and when you're working on something, you're changing, you're transforming as you're working on it normally. It's kind of, I mean, the death card to me is bigger than just mastering a skill, but that's part of this, right? This is the situation where this is the influence. So you are working on something, and it's influencing the changes in you, which I really like. So let's go ahead and clarify the 8 of Pentacles, please. What is this 8 of Pentacles? As best we can in the present influence. I like the 9 of Pentacles there too. Okay. Okay, Page of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you're trying to find answers. So the Page of Cups, something that matters to you, that you care about. It could be somebody or something very deeply, and it's just been taking a long time. You feel like you've been really trying to focus on something with that Knight of Pentacles. And then with the Page of Swords is kind of the aha. It's the end of that eight, you know, learning something, and it's that aha moment. So this has to do with something that you've been working on for a while that means a lot to you, and you're continuing to work on it. With the Death card being in the current situation, though, things are working out, like it's happening. You're actually, the work is working. It's not just there, like, because the Death card is all about the transformation. So the Nine of Pentacles, you know, ultimately this is the energy that's influencing you moving forward. The key here, and I looking at it looking forward, is to really focus on what you have, right? That's what you're trying to get to, is being accomplished, you know, again, reaching those goals. And when you get to the nine, the nine is about looking at what you've achieved, focusing on what you've achieved. And I feel like that's going to be driving you here. So tell me more about this Nine of Pentacles, please. Anything more we need to know about this? Okay, the Temperance. Yeah, I like that. Four of Swords, okay. Hermit. Now, we have the Four of Swords in our challenge, because there's something here that you are working on balancing and healing or resting from a situation. The Hermit is that time alone. So I feel like this nine is coming from healing from an emotional place and discovering what you either bring to the table, or discovering like what really happened, or just the discovery of it's okay, I'm okay. Like, you know, like healing, it can be never done. Like it can go on forever, but um, taking that break is allowing you to see more, um, discover more about yourself, or what you really want, what you really need. And that's the Hermit with that Nine of Pentacles. So this is like getting to the point where you can really focus more on what you need, right? What's going to really enhance you. And I got the Nine of Pentacles here, and then I got the King of Swords. Wow. So we've got the King of Swords and the unexpected. I want to see what this energy is. I want to see if it's a person. I feel like it is a person, because I feel like that's what drives this Nine of Swords and Three of Swords, actually. The King of Swords would normally, you guys that watch me often know that I think of this person, can be a person with very harsh words. They don't always think before they talk. They don't worry about the other person's feelings. Sometimes it's not that they're meant to hurt feelings. They're just very direct in what they say without thinking about the person listening to those words, right? They're just, and they don't realize maybe that what they said is really could be kind of cruel. Tell me more about this king. Hangman, Hermit, Eight of Pentacles. See, the Hangman and the Hermit. Okay, so this might not be a person at all. I'm feeling, because of that Eight of Pentacles here and the Hermit again, is that you're going to be surprisingly logical moving into the future. There's something here too, though, that means that you might be stripping some of your emotions aside and just being completely logical. And it may just be about this situation. Uh, with the Hangman is the thinking about things differently. The Hermit is the discovery. The Eight of Pentacles is what you've been working on, and that's exactly what's been happening right here. So you're going to surprise yourself, because the King of Swords is the surprise. And now, for some of you, it could be somebody. I'm not getting that overall, but the collective reading, this says it could be somebody that comes in that maybe helps you a little bit because of the Eight of Pentacles, that you've mastered a skill. I feel like if it is somebody, there's a little bit of a warning there. Anytime, I feel like when I see a King of Swords come in, little bit of a warning. Um, it doesn't mean that they're going to be cruel, but I would just, keep a real emotional cool head here. But for some of you, I feel like it's you taking on that personality, like and being driven a little bit with blinders though, because that the King of Swords definitely has blinders. Um, and sometimes we need those, right? If we are headed for something specific, we need those blinders. We need to have that focus. I don't know if I showed you the cards or not, but yeah, like you really need it. And here's the King. So you sometimes need that, and I think that's okay. It's not a bad thing, but also the little warning that comes along with that. If you're taking on that persona, also be a little bit careful with how you use your words. Um, we have the Four of Swords in the challenge. I feel like this isn't about healing. I feel like it's about maybe there's been a break here and rest, and you're like, I'm done with that. Like I'm done with resting. I'm done with the break. Tell me more about this Four of Swords and the challenge here. Um, okay, Two of Cups, Six of Wands, and Strength. I feel like this Four of Swords. There may be something that comes in, and maybe someone in your recent past or in your current, but not there all the time. They may be recognizing something about you, maybe your strength or whatever, but I don't think that's part of it. I think that this is the recognition that's coming in. The reason why this is a challenge is you've had a separation or a break from this person, and um, it's hard to be strong. You're struggling being strong because of this break, and that's why it's a challenge to stay to to keep kind of keep your distance from the situation a little bit. Um, and it could be literally about money or anything, but I feel like you, you may need to still keep your distance here. We have the King of Cups in the Strength, so let's see what this is, if this is a person or if this is you. The King of Cups to me is, if it's not, if the persona of this is like someone going with the flow. Now, the king is still the king, and they're mature, and um, they have their own strengths, but because it's a cup, they're so easy. Like they don't, um, like the King of Wands is all in, right? The King of Swords has their blinders and speaks truth. King of Pentacles is, home and family oriented, kind of like sitting tall in front of everything. The King of Cups is like, okay, let's do this. Also, though, this energy, not only are they kind of go with the flow and easy flowing, it doesn't mean that they won't speak up if something's not right, right? So you know how those people are, right? They're really easygoing, everything's cool until it's not. But it's a strength. So let's see if this is a person or if this is you. So I don't feel like that's the case, but I think you probably know who that you probably all have someone in your life that you understand that. Like you're easy going until they're not. And then it's like, you got to go, okay, this must be really important to them because they're not going with the flow on this one. Um, Tell me about this King of Cups in the Strength. What is this King of Cups in the Strength? Please, King of Cups. Four of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. Ooh, Hierophant. Now it's a strength. Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. There is something here about you holding on to something that's been very stressful or keeping you anxious or making you anxious. With the Hierophant here, though, I feel like there's some kind of level up. It doesn't mean, so this could be someone that, or something that, it doesn't have to be a person, that comes back around that you've kind of been holding on to, whether it's an idea, a person, you know, um, and it could be that what you're working on here. There's something about it, though, that kind of brings in anxiousness, and we've got it over here too. But there is a level up here with this Hierophant. So not necessarily a commitment, but um, again, going back to the Death card, that transformation, leveling up, becoming a little more mature in a situation. Doesn't mean you're immature. It means in the situation makes more sense. You understand it more, mature like that. And I feel like that's the strength here. Um, you're understanding something and a lot more. And I feel like that you are the King of Cups, and that's why you're like, I'm just going to go with it right now. You're not pushing buttons right now. It leads to the Three of Cups and then the Page of Wands. I'm going to clarify actually both of these. I'm going to clarify all of these. So we have the Three of Cups and the Page of Wands. Let's do this. Three of Cups being a celebration. I want to know more about that, and I want to know more about the Page of Wands because that's what brings in that Nine of Swords. So tell me about the Three of Cups first, please. What is this celebration? What is this get to? Oh God, that nine. We got. Okay, so there may be something that's, well, this has been hard, no doubt. Nine of Swords and Nine of Wands and the Hangman. I feel like that you've come to some kind of conclusion here with the Nine of Wands where it's been really hard. And dealing with the anxiousness or the stress, the Nine of Swords. But the Three of Cups is the Hangman here, looking at things differently, is bringing in a new opportunity for you to not necessarily celebrate, but putting yourself around those people that will help you, not make you more stressed, not do that. So what is this Page of Wands? So I feel like the Page of Wands, absolutely two things here. Page of Wands to me almost always, especially in this deck, is a message of some sort. He's actually writing a note. And pages can be definitely messages, all of them. Um, also, the Page of Wands can be someone that just jumps in and doesn't think about something. I'm getting the feeling, I want to clarify it because of that Nine of Swords. Are you becoming anxious because you jump into something too quickly? Or is it because you get a message? So see, there's, could be definitely, this is important. The Page of Wands. What is this Page of Wands, please? What is the Page of Wands? Lovers, Four of Swords, Judgment. Um, you're going to hear from this person. So the Four of Swords here, where we had the Two of Cups, we've got the Lovers now, which is the same type of energy, a partner, someone close to you. Um, you've been either taking a break from this, the Four of Swords, but the Judgment is some kind of renewal here in this situation, and I feel like there is some kind of message that comes in that's pointing you into that renewal and understanding this as a renewal. That's what's bringing in the anxiousness. So I'm not going to clarify the Nine of Swords, but I will clarify the three because I feel like whatever this message is about a renewal or them coming back around, even if it's not like renewing the situation as it was, but there's been a break, so you're hearing from them in one way or another, whether it's a written message or a message of any kind. The Nine of Swords, that's what's leading you into being anxious. And, again, we've had this Nine of Swords pop up. So this situation probably in the past has caused you anxiety to some degree or another, or stress, or sleepless nights, right? So then it leads to the Three of Swords. So I'm really curious because the Three of Swords is separation, sadness, and here though, I'm going to be honest with you, in this deck, I see the swords coming down and the person bending over and kind of like, and I don't mean to lessen the fact of being sad or hurt as a bad thing, but I almost feel like here, like instead of this being a Three of Swords and that you're going to be hurt or you're going to be separated from a person or a thing, I feel like this is more the protection. I feel like after the Nine of Swords, like you're going to say, oh my God, this is bringing me anxiousness. So now I need to protect myself. That's the feeling I'm getting here. That not that this is going to happen again, and it could. I'm not saying that either. But you're going to go into protect mode, which means that you're going to hold back. When we protect ourselves, we don't jump in, right? We hold back. So tell me more about the Three of Swords. What's the Three of Swords, please? Three of Pentacles, King of Wands, Ten of Swords. Wow. The Three of Pentacles is like collaboration, working with people. The King of Wands is looking at that. So I feel like this is a person, you know, passion, excitement, things like that. And so if there is some kind of something that you're looking at that was bringing you passion, and it could be this person, it could be anything, but he's looking directly at the Three of Pentacles, excitement. I'm excited. I'm getting the impression like this is exactly what I wanted. Um, and then it's over, right? The Ten of Swords. And now you're in protection mode. I'm going to pull one more card on this because I don't like leaving it Three of Swords. Three of Wands. So that's good. Even so, I'll clarify this. So the Three of Wands comes after that, which kind of opens up your mind again, right? Because when the Three of Wands comes in, we can see all the work we're doing, what's paying off and what's not. And I do feel like that Three of Swords is, I think there is some kind of ending that you're waiting for. I don't know if it's going to happen or you're waiting for it to happen, because I'm overall getting a huge impression of that Three of Swords being protect, not necessarily being sad, but protecting yourself from that. I think the Three of Wands coming after that is learning what you need to learn. So do I need to protect myself? Do I not need to protect myself? Do I need to step away from this situation? Is everything okay? It's giving you answers, and you will get the answers because Three of Wands, the ships are coming in. The work's paid off. Everything's been, it's setting things into motion now. And know that the Four of Wands comes after the Three of Wands, which is the celebration after the hard work. So the Three of Wands is seeing that hard work pay off. Tell me more about this three. Knight of Swords, Nine of Cups, and Ace of Swords. You're going to definitely understand exactly what's happening here. Knight of Swords, whatever energy's coming in, this does have to do with something that's very important to you, the Nine of Cups. And that Ace of Swords is the clarity of that, which is the Three of Wands, seeing your ships come in, and that makes much better sense. This is going to happen over a period of time with this situation. It's going to be a little rocky, but it's not long lived. It's not like you get your heart broke. That's not it. It's you go in, you're going to start protecting yourself from being hurt because the situation is familiar to you with that judgment that clarified the Page of Wands. So there is that familiarity, and you're protecting yourself. So what is the advice today? What is the advice? The Magician. I'm going to be honest. I think it's just, don't let anyone play tricks with you. Don't let someone play tricks with you. Ask for all of the things right up front. You get this unexpectedly. You know what you want. You're headed in a specific direction, right? The King of Swords. The Magician is saying, it's not that people want to take advantage or trick you, but sometimes people keep things that could affect you. And it's saying, don't let anyone have those sleight of hands around you, Um, you need to be able to see what they're doing, use the tools of the Magician because he's got all of them. But more importantly, I'm not saying don't trust, but I am kind of. It's more, You know, if something seems uncertain, ask the question. And if you still feel like it's not for sure, then start questioning it. You know what I mean? If you're not getting all the answers you want, because the magician, I see it a lot as sleight of hand. When I see it in advice, there's two things that could be: either you have all of the tools, or watch your back, watch to make sure no one's like hiding something from you. And again, I don't always see the magician. Now it can be. Do, I don't always see it being done on purpose, and it can be being done on purpose, but that's not the key here. The key is to make sure that you understand if you feel like someone's not being honest with you. Is there anything else we need to know for this lovely Friday? Temperance, Three of Pentacles, and Ace of Cups. There's still this kind of nice energy, because the Temperance, being in a position of kind of just emotional balance. There's something here with working together as a team and collaborating and feeling good about something that brings in a new beginning that feels very, it can feel creative. It could be a new relationship, but it could be a new relationship with just how you see things and moving forward, opens up your mind, opens up your heart. So I feel like overall this day will be fine. It does lead to a little bit of, anxiousness, but it's fleeting. I mean, this reading, again, we're doing a daily, so that everything in here is kind of coming and going. The only thing that's imperative when we look at all of this is the actual three cards here, which is the Death, the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. When I'm doing readings like this, and we're looking at where this leads on a daily basis, it's kind of a quick thing over the next couple weeks, or maybe even a week. You know, this is the basis of the reading, is the first three cards. So just so you kind of understand how I'm doing the readings. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Maybe if I could turn it off.